Hey YouTube, it's me, it's the man who likes to RANT, dropping a fresh VID for you today. And today, we gotta talk about WWE Fastlane. But this isn't going to be a typical review like I've done in the past. Because you don't need me to run down who won what match, because most of you, if you're watching my stuff, already know. Instead, what I'd like to talk about is the universal condemning of this pay-per-view. And for those people who are out there saying, this is the worst pay-per-view that WWE has ever put together. Now, holy hyperbole, Batman. That is totally unnecessary. And I understand that wrestling fans, myself included, are a fickle bunch that want things a certain way, and when we don't get it, we like to complain about it. But to call this the worst pay-per-view that WWE has produced, it's going a little too far, I think, guys. Now, I will say that a majority of the complaints that I've seen about this pay-per-view at least has some legitimacy to it, because the things that were bad about this night were glaringly bad, so I get it. But I'm going to go over why I think it was better than people give it credit for. For one thing, the action in this Fastlane compared to any other WWE Fastlane on the network, of which I think there are 4 now. Correct me down in the comments below. I legitimately can't remember when the first one started. But the crowd was into these matches, be it positive or negative, all night. When you look at the first Fastlane, through the whole pay-per-view, that crowd is essentially dead. So there's the biggest dagger against your argument that this is the worst pay-per-view that WWE or the Raw brand has produced. Now, that having been said, the biggest source of why people are making these complaints are a large portion of the matches and outcomes don't make sense. Most notably in the women's title match between Bayley and Charlotte. I'll admit, on initial viewing of WWE Fastlane, I was very happy that Charlotte's pay-per-view win streak is broken. But then logic eventually finds its way back into my brain, and it says, you know, if you were going to do this, it should have happened at WrestleMania. And should I just mention that if it was going to happen, if you're going to have a wrestler employ heelish tactics, it should actually be the one that you want perceived as the heel. And in this case, it was Bayley looking very heel-like, and it's not a good look for her if you want her to be the uber female babyface. And for those of you who might be saying, well, you can't have Charlotte lose at WrestleMania, she's a Flair. Let me remind you at this point that as far as her daddy is concerned, Ric Flair may be one of the greatest wrestlers, if not the greatest wrestler to ever step into a ring. But as far as singles matches where either a title or a shot at a title was at stake, Ric Flair has never won at WrestleMania. Yes, he won at 20 in the 3-on-2 tag match when it was Evolution versus the Rock and Sock Connection, but let's be honest. If Ric Flair wasn't there, and it was simply Randy Orton and Batista versus the Rock and Sock Connection, I would be hard to convince that the match would have gone any other way than it did. Because it was important that the young stable got over, and the only reason Ric Flair was even there was because he was the only member of Evolution to have nothing to do that night. So having Charlotte lose her streak on the biggest stage in the world would have made a lot more sense. Oh, and by the way, you have Sasha run down and blatantly, in front of the official, touch Charlotte right in front of his eyes. Didn't even try to hide it. Didn't try to make it look accidental or anything like that. And there's no disqualification? Are you kidding? Are you kidding? No, that makes no sense. Makes no sense. But that is the running theme of this pay-per-view, isn't it? Now, let's address another thing people aren't happy with. People aren't happy with the fact that Braun Strowman did not beat Roman Reigns. Now, I get it. It's the in thing to do to hate Roman Reigns. But I've said it before on this channel. I'll say it again. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. Roman is not as bad as the fans make him out to be. He's working hard to get better all the time, and you just hate him because Vince wants him to be the guy, and you're saying no as loud as you can. Plus, regardless of how I feel about the Undertaker-Roman Reigns match at Mania, can you honestly sit here and say that it's a good idea for Roman to be on a losing streak heading into WrestleMania this year to face Undertaker? If you said yes, sir, you need to sit down and think about what you just said. Because, literally, you want people to believe that Roman could at least be a threat to Undertaker. Do I expect Roman to win? No. If played right, though, Vince, I hope you're listening. If played right, this could be a fantastic spot to turn Roman heel and keep him there in the long term, which I do believe could be beneficial to his character. Now we come to the elephant in the room, the one that everybody is most unhappy with. First of all, I can't believe there are people out there who legitimately picked Kevin Owens to retain against Bill Goldberg. Really? Really? You need that Universal title to be on the line at WrestleMania for Goldberg and Lesnar. And now, look at me, Vince. Look at me. I'm getting as close to the camera as I can. I have my hands clasped. I am begging. Begging, begging, begging. There are two things that above all else need to happen at WrestleMania for me to consider the whole Brock Lesnar Goldberg rivalry a success. 1. The match needs to go for a minimum of 15 minutes. And 2, Brock needs to be more than just the suplexes. Oh, they can be a part of the match, sure. I mean, I won't turn my nose up if Brock hits Goldberg 5 times. But it needs to be more than that. He needs to do things like he would have done at WrestleMania 20 if he and Bill had managed to give a shit. And I don't blame them for that either. That's on you too. But like, people are angry that Owens isn't gonna fight for the Universal title at WrestleMania. Get over it. He's got a great rivalry with Chris Jericho, and there's a chance, slim though it is, that if Kevin Owens, excuse me, thank you. If Kevin Owens wins the title from Jericho after he goes away to play more Fozzy music, if booked right, Kevin Owens may be the first guy to hold the U.S. title that we legitimately care about because of how popular he is. So that's how you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone with that rivalry. Plus, people want to see Jericho and Owens hook it up after what happened at the Festival of Friendship, which is some of the best TV that WWE has produced in many years, in my opinion. So I'm looking forward to that match. I'm hoping Lesnar and Goldberg is not a complete stinker this year. I've covered why they had to do what they did with Roman, even though I don't agree with the match. I, like most of my internet wrestling community brothers and sisters, would have paid much more money to actually see John Cena and The Undertaker go at it. But since that's not going to happen, I suppose this is the best we can get, he said with giant quotations around that whole statement. So yeah. And by the way, if you need a final clue that this Fastlane wasn't as bad as people were making it out to be, I dare you. I dare you, anyone who's watching this within the sound of my voice, who has the ability to do so, go back and watch any of the previous Fastlanes. Any of them. And tell me in the comments below that you seriously enjoyed that show better than this one. I don't get it, guys. I'm fine for handing out criticism to WWE on a regular basis. I mean, people are gonna do it. That's what we do. That's what fans do. But I only believe in it when it's warranted. And negative criticism, to the degree that I have seen on the internet, in wrestling forums, on YouTube itself, it really is not necessary to this degree. What were your opinions on Fastlane? Post down in the comments below. I would love to talk to my subscriber base about this. How would you have booked Fastlane differently? Would you have changed the matches? Are there matches at Mania that you're excited about or disenchanted with? Let me know. If you like this video, click that thumbs up. It really helps. If you don't want to miss a video by the Wrestling Ranter, click that subscribe button and you'll always know whenever I make a new video, and it'll be there for your viewing pleasure. Ranter gonna get off the soapbox. I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.